Breaking news, breaking news. The Eagles just did it again. They hit another one out of the park. Nobody can tell me this team isn't going all in. Do you see the coaching staff they're putting together? And they just found another one. Another genius, smart, positional coach who is up and coming and knows how to develop talent. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. I gotta tell you, I absolutely love what the Eagles are doing. I do. The offseason hasn't even started, and they're killing it. They're killing it. The Eagles are assembling an unbelievable coaching staff. I think they are night and day better than they were a year ago. They are getting guys who are not just experienced, but these guys are highly coveted, highly up and coming. Some have already been coordinators. Some are getting close to becoming coordinators. And it's an unbelievable job that they're doing. But what it really tells us by what they have done, and they have just now done again today, is they are telling you by the staff that they're putting together, this team is going all in. This team is going all in. They are going to be busy this all season. Expect a lot of moves, a lot of things to happen. Now, we're going to get into it because, once again, we have a new coach. And before we talk about him, there is something else I got to talk to you guys about. And that is this upcoming season, week 1 of the NFL. That's right, week 1. Why am I talking about week 1 when the schedule's not even out yet? Well, because the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in Brazil. That's right, it has been announced. The Philadelphia Eagles will play the first ever NFL game in South America in Brazil. The game will be Friday, September 6th, and who are they going to play? We don't know yet. I'm sure it's not going to be a divisional rival. I don't think they would do that. But the Eagles will be the home team hosting the first game in South America, in Brazil. I'm not going to read the whole statement by Jeffrey Lurie, but this is kind of what it sounded like. The Eagles organization is honored to have been selected to play in the first ever National Football League game in South America. With the global growth of our sport being top priority to our league, we embrace the opportunity to grow our fan base around the world, blah, 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 blah. So they are going to be playing in Brazil. I understand why the league is doing it. I understand why the league wants to go and play, globally. I get all that. But I have to tell you, I personally hate it. I absolutely hate it for a couple reasons. One, I think Brazil's like 5 hours ahead of us, ahead of me or something. So who knows what time the game is going to be at, what day I'm going to have to take off, what am I going to have to do to get ready to play, to stream that game. It's on a Friday, okay? Playing the first week on a Friday? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And then lastly, I don't like giving up my home games for international games. I don't. Those home games are super important, and I don't want to play international games that take away from a home game in Philly. If it's an away game, fine. But if it's a home game, no. And I would say this. If it's a divisional game, whether it's home or away, is unfair. I don't like it. So, to me, it's going to have to be against a weaker opponent, blah, 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 and the Eagles are going to Brazil. I don't know. From a personal standpoint, I honestly don't like it. I don't. For selfish reasons, for the way I like things to work and the extra home game and not having to figure out what time the game's going to be and what I had to do to not have to take off work and all this stuff. So, yeah, I don't care for it, but it is what it is. I hated it. I hated a few years ago. Remember when we played the Jaguars and we had to play in England? I absolutely hated that. That was torture. I was streaming 5 a.m, an Eagles game. It sucked. It was horrible. So I don't like these international games. So now for the breaking news. The Eagles have done it again. They have done it again. This team is absolutely killing it right now, okay? The offseason hasn't even started. Free agency hasn't even started. And this team is putting together one hell of a coaching staff. And every Eagle fan should be excited about what's going on. Maybe Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore, maybe they weren't your first choice. But when you look at the people they're putting around and putting in as coach, it's night and day different than it was a year ago, okay? They are getting guys that know how to coach, that know what they're doing. You've got positional coaches who are former coordinators. You've got positional coaches who are on the verge of getting coordinator spots, and they just keep doing it and keep adding to it. The latest one is this Christian Parker they hired. Dov Kleeman wrote this, breaking: the Pound Broncos defensive back coach Christian Parker is expected to leave Denver to take a position on the Pound Eagles defensive coaching staff, per at Dan Graziano. Now, here's the thing about Christian Parker, right? He has experience with Vic Fangio. He has also saw the development of one Patrick Surtain and Justin Simmons. Here's what Bleeding Green Nation put as a snapshot to his coaching experience. 2013-2014, he was a Virginia State defensive back coach. 2015 to 2016, Norfolk State defensive back coach. 2017, Notre Dame defensive analyst. 2018, Texas A&M defensive analyst. 2019 and 2020, Green Bay Packers defensive quality control coach. 2021 to 2023, he was the Denver Broncos defensive back coach. During his time with the Broncos, Parker oversaw the development of first-team All-Pro cornerback Patrick Surtain. Veteran safety Justin Simmons also played one of his 2 Pro Bowl seasons while working with Parker. Parker has garnered the interest around the league. Both the Green Bay Packers and New England Patriots interviewed Parker for a defensive coordinator opening this offseason. All right, and Parker is 32 years old from Flemington, New Jersey. John McMullen was saying he might be coming in as a passing game specialist, but whatever it is, it's obviously to work with the secondary. And listen, you got to think about it this way, right? Forget Slay and Trashberry. Okay, they're there. But you got to think about these young guys. We got a lot of good young defensive backs. A lot of talented guys. Eli Ricks, guys like that. Johnny Ringo, Kylie Ringo. I call him Johnny Ringo because of Tombstone. But, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked all over your grave. Fights not with you, the holiday. I beg to differ, so we started the game. We didn't get finished. Play for blow, remember? I was just joking about. I wasn't this time. It's legal. All right, Lunger, let's do it. Anyways, once I start talking about Tombstone, I can't stop. I'm going to have to watch it now. Too bad I have to go to work soon. But anyways, I think this is another good signing for the Eagles. They are putting together a really good coaching staff. I'm really liking it a lot, and I think we're going to see much better play. I mean, Nick Sirianni is getting set up, and perfectly. If you think about all the coaches with the experience and everybody on that staff that he has around him is huge. I just wonder how long these guys will be there, because a lot of them could probably be getting coordinator jobs and things like that very soon. But I absolutely think it's a great move by the Eagles. And like I've said in many videos before, what it tells us is that the Eagles are going all in. They are going to be players in free agency. No question about it. It's going to be interesting. And, just a couple players we should keep our eyes on, right? I think anybody from the Chargers, we got to keep an eye on offensively, and anybody from the Dolphins defense, we got to keep an eye on. Austin Eckler could be a guy to watch, and I'm not saying I hear anything or have heard. There's nothing like that. I'm just saying, from my own personal opinion, a guy like Austin Eckler, who was with Kellen Moore, who the Eagles liked Austin Eckler in the past anyways. If they don't resign Swift, which, listen, I think they should, and I hope that they do, and I expect them to. But if they don't, Austin Eckler's a guy to watch. We also got to watch Vic Fangio too, because he may try to lure some free agents out of Miami. Eagles Today wrote this. Eagles Vic Fangio may try to lure a pair of Dolphins free agents. And it says Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio could try to get one of his favorite players, linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, to Philly, and maybe also safety Deshaun Elliott. Now, Van Ginkel had a pretty good year last year, right? 42 solo tackles, 6 sacks, an interception, 28 years old, and Vic Fangio reportedly loved him. He loved him. So he could be a guy that the Eagles look to bring in. He's not going to be overly expensive, but he knows Fangio. Fangio knows him. And he would definitely be an upgrade. I would not be upset about that kind of move at all. And then they were also talking about the safety, because the Eagles do need a safety. Fangio also brought back Joe Casper with him from South Florida to be a safety coach. Per NFL media, Dolphin safety Deshaun Elliott could be a name to watch, since the Eagles are in the market for safety too. Elliott started 15 games last year, a former 6th-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens in 2018. He will be 27 in April. He had 82 tackles and an interception a season ago. Both those guys are guys to watch out for. Now, I'm not saying that there's any link or anything like that, except for the fact that Vic Fangio was with them last year. And, you know, when you bring coordinators over, oftentimes they bring players from other teams that they had before. So there could be a couple names to watch before free agency begins, especially Austin Eckler. I think, like I said, the Eagles were already interested in him before. It would not be surprised with now Kellen Moore coming over that they go that route. Just some things to keep in mind as we get ready to dive heavy into free agency. I would not be surprised if one of those 3 players, or if 2 of those 3 players, aren't Eagles by the time free agency starts. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. I told you guys it would happen. I told you it would happen, and it didn't take long at all. Do you notice how all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboy fans, they don't blame Dak Prescott at all for the playoff loss? It was never his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. What could he do? He has no defense. He has no help. He never has anything. It's this, blah, 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 blah. Every year they make an excuse for that guy. It's not just that he lost one game in the playoffs to Green Bay this year. It's that he loses the same way every year for 8 stinking years. Yet, no, it ain't Dak Prescott's fault. Why don't they have a better defense? Why don't they have more receivers? Why don't they have a better run game? They're always blaming something, right? Kellen Moore was a scapegoat. Oh, I can't wait till Kellen Moore goes out there and whips up on Dallas. They better hope the Eagles don't get to at least an NFC Championship game with Kellen Moore, because they will never live it down. Don't they realize their quarterback is a choker? He's a choker. He can't win big games. You can say what you want about Jalen Hurts. He's been to a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott, he sat in the stands during Super Bowls. That's about it. Denzel Washington out.